Hey guys, welcome back to the channel where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. This case that I posted about the other day on the 30th of July, man, I had no idea that this would end up to this conclusion. It was about the suitcases that they found, 3 suitcases in the Intracoastal Waterway in Delray Beach. Now, apparently, they did not find the woman's head, I'm assuming, until after the sketch was done, because the woman's photo that we saw looks really, well, she kind of looks like her, but she's quite younger than the actual victim is. The victim is 80 years old, and law enforcement was able to find her killer, which is her husband, and his name is William Lowe. He is 78 years old. So I'm going to go through here. We're going to play the presser from Delray Beach Police and then go through what is known thus far.
Good afternoon. My name is Russ Major. I'm the Chief of Police for the Delray Beach Police Department. Today I'm here to update you on the outcome of a homicide investigation that began on July 21st, 2023. I would like to first start by recognizing and thanking the community for the assistance in providing vital information that was greatly assisting us and beneficial to the outcome of this investigation. To everyone who followed this case, you can appreciate the sheer volume of work and countless hours that were necessary to bring resolution and closure to a case of this magnitude. The men and women of the Delray Beach Police Department worked around the clock since July 21st. It makes me proud to be the chief of this organization and to lead this organization. And I would like to personally thank all those that were involved. A special thanks and recognition must be extended to the crime scene investigators and the detectives that were assigned this case. A week ago, we held a press conference asking the public for any assistance to help identify a subject in this case. Today, I can tell you the victim has since been identified, as well as the individual who committed this heinous crime. Our victim has been identified as Miss Ideal Barbosa Fontes, as well as the defendant, Mr. William Lowe, who has been arrested for first-degree murder. Many of you last week asked the question, how could we ever solve this case? Well, it's the dedication and hard work of the men and women of the Delray Beach Police Department that were committed to serving our community. Although we can never fully repair what has transpired, it is our hope that our efforts can somehow bring peace to the victim and her family. I'm now going to hand the mic over to Detective Mike Alberta, who will explain in more detail what transpired and address questions accordingly. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Detective Michael Alberta. I'm the lead detective on this case. Before I get into the details of this case, I would like to acknowledge that the outcome of this case would not have been possible without my amazing team of detectives and investigators, to include Detective Vickery, Detective Lunsford, Detective Casares, Detective Kinney, Sergeant Kelly, Lieutenant Guerrero, Crime Scene Supervisor Ackerman, Crime Scene Investigator Del Valle, and Crime Scene Investigator Corazzini. In addition to all the other units that assisted in this investigation, these individuals put in countless hours to identify our victim and give her a voice when she wasn't able to speak for herself. I would also like to thank the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office and DNA International for their assistance in this case. As you all know, on July 21st, 2023, the Delray Beach Police Department received a call from a subject stating they found a suitcase in the Intracoastal Waterway which contained human remains. On this same date, 2 other suitcases were located in the Intracoastal Waterway of Delray Beach. Detectives worked through the evening and into the early morning hours. On July 22nd, a multi-agency marine operation was conducted in search for additional bags. Detectives located 2 additional bags in the Intracoastal Waterway within the city limits of Delray Beach. Over the next several days, detectives conducted neighborhood canvasses and developed multiple witnesses that were able to supply information in reference to a vehicle and a subject that was seen in the area multiple times prior to the suitcases being located. Video surveillance was collected from multiple sources, and detectives were able to confirm the statements made by these witnesses. A vehicle tag was obtained, which led us to a subject that lived in the immediate vicinity of the area where the suitcases were located. That subject was identified as William Lowe, Jr. Numerous search warrants were authored and executed, and dental records were obtained from this address. Detectives were able to then confirm the identity of our victim as Ideal Barbosa Fontes. Additional evidence was obtained from this residence, which led officers to a storage unit where they located a chainsaw that they believe was used in this crime. Probable cause was developed and an arrest warrant was walked through yesterday afternoon for the defendant, William Lowe, Jr. Mr. Lowe was taken into custody last night by the Delray Beach Police Department and charged with first-degree murder and improper dismemberment of a human body. Mr. Lowe attended first appearance this morning and was not granted a bond. In closing, it is important for myself and the members of the Investigation Division, as well as the Delray Beach Police Department, to express our sincerest condolences to the family and friends of Mrs. Barbosa Fontes. Thank you.
So this is the probable cause affidavit, the arrest affidavit off of Law and Crime. And it's 7 pages, so this would here be the first page, and we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty here. On July 21st, 2023, Delray Beach received a call from a subject that stated he located a suitcase on the west side of the Intracoastal Waterway that he believed contained human remains. Detectives responded to the area and observed a suitcase with a human foot protruding through the zipper. Upon opening the suitcase, which was suitcase number 1, it was discovered that the suitcase contained 2 human legs. Looks like there's a typo there. There were several small landscaping rocks in the suitcase. The suitcase had what appeared to be an airline's barcode sticker. The sticker read the following: Latam MIA Barbosa. Unidentified character, onates, looks like A. Yeah, he didn't take off any stickers, it sounds like, so a lot of mistakes being made already. Approximately 1 hour later, Delray Beach police received a second call from a second witness stating they had located a suitcase on the rocks on the west side of the Intracoastal Waterway that contained human remains. Detectives responded to the area and observed the contents of the suitcase, which would be suitcase number 2, to be a human torso. The torso was missing the head and the hands and ended just below the stomach area. There were several small landscaping rocks in the suitcase. While on scene, the witness stated his friend was on a boat in the area and had located a third suitcase caddy corner, which would be the east side of the Intracoastal, and further south from the location that detectives were currently at. The subject advised that they believed the suitcase contained human remains. Detectives responded to the area and located a suitcase number 3, which contained a human female pelvis. The suitcase contained a bag, Cheesecake Factory, containing multiple landscaping rocks and barnacles, as well as several loose large-sized barnacles within the suitcase. On July 22nd, 2023, multi-agency marine operation was conducted in the Intracoastal Waterway on the city of Delray Beach. A Coast Guard vessel containing a Delray Beach detective located a tote-type bag that was tied shut around the handles with twine. The bag number 1, had what appeared to be a men's belt wrapped around it. The bag contained a female human head. It should be noted that detectives in Delray Beach CSI observed a single gunshot wound behind the victim's ear with an exit wound behind the opposite ear. The medical examiner later determined the manner of death to be homicide and cause of death to be a gunshot wound to the head. As the search continued, members of the Delray Beach Underwater Search and Recovery Team located a purse, bag number 2, slightly north of the above-mentioned bag. This purse was tied shut with the same type of twine used on the above-mentioned bag. The purse contained an ashtray, which may have been used as a weight and had a decomposition odor. On July 23rd, 2023, Detective Liberta and Detective Vickery met with witness, redacted, who reside in the vicinity, redacted, of the location that suitcase number 3 was found. The witness stated that they saw the suitcase on the south side of the waterway prior to detectives locating the suitcase on the north side of the waterway. The witness advised that for several days prior to 7/21, they observed a white male, approximately in his 50s to 60s, looking into the Intracoastal Waterway. They stated he appeared to be looking at the suitcase. The subject was seen by the witness approximately 5 to 6 times over a 3-day period. The witness advised that he made contact with the subject and asked him what he was looking at. The subject advised he was, quote, waiting for the big boat to come into the harbor, unquote. The witness told the subject that no big boats come into the harbor as it is too shallow. He then asked the subject which boat he was waiting for, and the subject pointed to a boat across the waterway and stated, quote, a boat like that, unquote. The witness stated the subject appeared nervous and immediately walked over to his car, which was an older model gold sedan, entered it, and left the area. Yeah, that's not suspicious at all. While in the area speaking with witnesses, Detective Liberta noticed a metal dock ladder in the vicinity of the area that suitcase number 3 was located. Upon examining the ladder, Detective Liberta noted it appeared that the bottom step was completely free of barnacles. However, the step above the bottom step was covered in barnacles. Detective Liberta requested DPPD CSI respond to the area and process the ladder for latent prints and other forensic evidence. CSI investigator Thompson responded and processed the ladder and recovered a substance she believed to be blood. After further testing, the results yielded a positive finding for blood. On July 24th, Detective Liberta and Detective Vickery made contact with 3 subjects, Francisco Simon, Leiden Alisis, and Miguel Manuel Lopez, that were currently working on a roof of a property, redacted Oleander Drive, parallel to the location where suitcase number 3 was located. The witnesses advised that they had seen the suitcases in the waterway. They stated it was apparent, based on the odor, that there was some type of remains in the suitcase. They advised that on 7/21/2023, they observed a white male and provided the same physical description and vehicle description as the above witness. They further advised the vehicle was a Ford. The witness stated the subject was standing on the seawall looking at the suitcase. The witness advised they heard the subject say, shit, which at one point he immediately entered his vehicle and left the area. On July 24th, 2023, Detective Liberta and Detective Vickery met with additional witnesses, redacted. They stated on 7/20 they observed a white male, same physical description and vehicle description as the above witnesses, on the dock of the residence that was having the roof replaced. They advised that they observed the subject enter the waterway using the metal dock ladder on this property. They stated the subject had what appeared to be a brush on a metal pole in his hand. The witness stated they observed what appeared to be the subject attempting to push or scrape something in the waterway using the brush in a downward motion. On July 30th, 2023, Detective Lunsford was reviewing video surveillance from redacted Oleander Drive and observed a white male with gray hair climb down the residence dock ladder at 7:04 a.m. on 7/20/2023. The subject then climbs back up the ladder and walks out of the area of the surveillance. The same video then reveals the same subject climb down the dock ladder at 4:13 p.m. on 7/20/2023. The subject was not wearing a shirt and carrying what appeared to be a Cheesecake Factory bag. The bag appeared to have some type of weight to it. The subject was also holding what appeared to be a metal pole. The subject climbs down the ladder, at which time he's not able to be seen by the video surveillance. The subject then reappears in the frame as he climbs up the dock ladder at 4:19 p.m. and is no longer in possession of the bag. The subject immediately removes his shoes and exits the frame. A pair of shoes was recovered in the same area by Delray Beach Police CSI. Yeah, he's leaving quite a bit of evidence behind, isn't he? On July 31st, 2023, Detective Carius advised me on 7/24/2023 at 11:30 a.m. While boloing the area of the crime scene, he noticed a gold Ford Taurus in the area and took a picture of the vehicle's tag, Florida tag DV035SL. Detectives ran the vehicle's tag, and the results yielded the following: 2008 Ford, four-door, registered to William P. Lowe, Jr., date of birth 3/28/1945. Lowe's address is redacted in the city of Delray Beach. David also revealed a second vehicle registered to Lowe as a 2017 dark blue Subaru station wagon, Florida tag DV336IJ. It should be noted that this location is 0.1 miles from the location that suitcase number 3 was recovered and 0.3 miles from the dock ladder. Detectives then ran Lowe through David and obtained a picture which showed Lowe as a white male with gray hair. Further investigation through David revealed that a Hispanic female by the name of Adele Barbosa Fontes also lived at Venetian Drive in the city of Delray Beach. On 7/31/2023, your affidavit authored a DNA search warrant for William Lowe. The warrant was granted by the Honorable Judge James Martz. On the same date, officers located Lowe and transported him back to the Delray Beach Police Department in order to execute the warrant. Post Miranda, Lowe made the following statements. Your affidavit confirmed that Lowe lived at blank Venetian Drive. Redacted, Lowe advised that he was married and stated his wife's name was Adele Barbosa Fontes. Your affidavit asked Lowe where his wife was, and he replied, in Brazil. When asked how long Barbosa had been in Brazil, he stated about 3 weeks. Your officiant asked Lowe how his wife got to the airport, and he advised he did not know. When asked about what airline she flew, Lowe advised he did not know. Your officiant asked Lowe when the last time he spoke with his wife, and he replied, I don't know. Your officiant asked Lowe if he had fallen or cut himself recently, and Lowe replied, other than shaving, no. Your officiant showed Lowe a picture of 2 of the suitcases that Barbosa was found in and asked Lowe if he had ever seen either suitcase. Lowe replied, no, sir. Your officiant asked Lowe why there would be a sticker on the suitcase related to his wife's name, and he replied, I don't know. Yeah, that's called denial. On 7/31/2023, your officiant authored a search warrant for redacted Venetian Drive. The warrant was granted by the Honorable Judge James Martz. The warrant was executed on the same day. Upon execution of the warrant, detectives observed blood spatter throughout the residence, to include the living room, dining room, hallway, both bathrooms, and the master bedroom. Blood was detected in the master bath shower drain as well as the tub of the second bathroom. Drag marks were observed in the living room, hallway, and master bathroom. Large amounts of blood were found in the living room, dining room, and master bathroom. Numerous cleaning supplies were found throughout the residence, some containing blood spatter. He didn't clean up very well, did he? While executing the search warrant, Lowe returned to the residence and attempted to enter the residence through the rear window. Yeah, this is a smart move. Lowe was met by officers and prevented from entering. Lowe stated he was just trying to get his phone and the keys to his storage unit. Upon search of the spare bedroom, detectives located a business card for storage security from security storage of Delray Beach, located at redacted Georgia Street in the city of Delray Beach. This desk is the same desk that Lowe requested your officiant to locate his wallet and retrieve Lowe's credit card and driver's license. A 9mm firearm was located in the drawer of the same desk. Man, can you imagine though? They're searching his home with a search warrant for him, and he tries to sneak in a back bedroom window, and he's like, oh, I just need my cell phone, and the keys to my storage unit. And, oh, I have a gun in the drawer there, and I need my credit card. Yeah, dude. And you remember, this guy's 78 years old. He is one bold man. On 7/31/2023, Detective Correas met with Redacted at Redacted Venetian Drive, stated that she had been living in that apartment for over 2 years. Lazarus advised she knows her neighbors across the way in apartment Redacted as Bill and his wife, which she did not know how to pronounce her name and stated Azel. stated that earlier today, at approximately 0800 hours, while she was walking her dogs, she observed Lowe putting a plastic container tote box into his tan vehicle. Redacted stated she last saw Barbosa a couple of weeks ago. Redacted stated that her dogs would bark when they hear movement, and recently they had been barking between 01:30 and 03:30 hours in the morning, which she would wake up from her sleep and hear Lowe's apartment door open and close, which is unusual to her. Redacted stated that Lowe sometimes leaves flowers in front of her door, and most recently, last Wednesday, 7/26/2023, she saw flowers on her doorstep in the morning she went to walk the dogs. Redacted confirmed with Lowe via text message that he had left her flowers. Redacted advised that the apartment above Lowe's is owned by Lowe's sister, but she has never seen her since Lazarus has lived there. Lazarus stated he had seen both Lowe and Barbosa go up to the apartment occasionally. So I guess he was sweet on the neighbor, huh? He was sweet on her, the neighbor with the dogs. On 8/1/2023, Dr. Miller of the Palm Beach County Medical Examiner's Office confirmed through dental records the identity of the decedent to be Adele Barbosa Fontes. On 8/1/2023, your officiant made contact with witness upstairs neighbor redacted, who stated the apartment across the hall from her is owned by Lowe's sister, redacted. She stated that she had not seen the sister in over 2 years, possibly 3. She advised that she had seen Lowe on multiple occasions enter redacted. Redacted said on average over the past 3 years she would say Lowe enters redacted approximately 1 to 2 times a month. She stated that Lowe's stores items in the apartment and she thinks he may use the refrigerator as well. Redacted advised that at times Lowe's leaves the keys to the apartment in the door, but she never says anything because he later returns and retrieves the keys. Redacted recalled an incident that was approximately 2 to 3 weeks prior where she had seen what she thought was a trail of soup leading from the door of redacted through the hallway, up the stairs to the door of redacted. I made contact with the redacted who was in charge of the property maintenance, who confirmed Ruggiero's statement. Rashi stated that he cleaned the stain trail using 409 cleaning agent. Redacted could not give me the exact date of when this occurred, but thought it was approximately 3 weeks prior to today's date. So it sounds like he murdered his wife about 2 weeks before he disposed of her. So he kept her around, I guess, for a little bit. On 8/1/2023, your officiant observed the front door at redacted Venetian Drive, redacted in the city of Delray Beach, and it should be noted that attached to the front door of this apartment is a metal plaque engraved with the Bill Lowe's. It should also be noted on the same date, Delray Beach Police Department CSI Carla Del Valle observed that what appeared to be blood spatter on the wall next to the entry door of redacted. On 8/1/2023, your officiant authored a search warrant for redacted Venetian Drive, redacted. The warrant was granted by the Honorable Judge James Martz. The warrant was executed on the same day. Upon execution of the warrant, detectives observed a black cover for a Roby chainsaw on the dining room table, as well as a Roby charger, which would be used to charge the battery on the chainsaw. Multiple bottles of cleaning supplies were found in this apartment as well. Sounds like he used that apartment for some of his murder as well. On 8/2/2023, Detective Vickery and Detective Corrales made contact with the property manager at Security Storage of Delray and confirmed that Lowe in fact had a storage unit at this facility. The unit number was redacted. On the same date, Detective Lunsford authored a search warrant for the storage unit located at redacted Georgia Street, unit redacted. The warrant was granted by Honorable Judge James Martz. The warrant was executed on the same day. Upon execution of the warrant, detectives located a Roby chainsaw that appeared to have blood on the blade, chain, and housing. Detectives observed what appeared to be bone matter, flesh, and human hair in the housing of the saw. Also located in the unit was a small Coleman cooler located next to the chainsaw. The cooler appeared to have red marks on the cover as well as red stains in the cooler. Detectives believe these marks and stains to be blood. The box that the chainsaw was purchased in was also present. Correspondence for Lowe was located in the storage unit. Based on the above facts, probable cause exists to charge the defendant, William P. Lowe Jr., with first-degree murder in violation of FSS 782.011A2 and abuse of a dead human body in violation of FSS 872.062. And of course, it is signed by the detective. So I don't know, I would never have assumed that this victim was 80 years old from the initial sketch that was provided to the public earlier in the week, as well as that a 78-year-old committed this horrific murder, allegedly, by shooting his wife, and even worse, dismembering her with a chainsaw and disposing of her in the waterway. I mean, 78 years old. I mean, that's quite an undertaking for anyone, let alone someone of that age. I don't know. I'm really curious if this guy has a criminal past, because that's a lot to do. A lot to do for 78 years old. And man, he must have had some real issues or anger with his wife to not only shoot her, but to like chop up her body with a chainsaw and put her in multiple suitcases and bags. Wow. That is crazy. But I'm glad we know the identity of this poor woman, and I guess he's going to be charged. And according to detectives, he's denying any of this stuff, and he's not really talking, obviously. He's got his attorney. I mean, he's going to pretty much probably be in jail for the rest of his life. I would like to see him plead out to save, everyone, taxpayers, and whatever family might remain. I don't know if they have children. The heartache of a trial, but who knows? We don't know much about him at this point, but let me know what you think in the comments. It's another crazy one. Seems to always be something with these suitcases. I don't know. They always seem to get pretty crazy. Alright guys, that's all I've got for this one. I hope you have a great rest of the day. And most of all, stay safe.